we have been studying chapter number 3 in Science 1, which is chemical reactions and equations. We have practically completed the theory, the entire theory for the chapter, and we have looked at almost all the questions also. What we will do in the current session now is quickly go over the entire chapter, complete whatever little bits we left here and there, right? Together, you and I, together, we will complete that. We will relook at the definition and mechanism of oxidation reduction reactions. And we will use the time to write some long answers in the class. So you will need your textbooks, you will need your notebooks, you will not need your guides. Don't use your guides here. Right? So you will absolutely use your notebooks and textbooks. You can refer to them while you are answering. I'll put my phone on silent and we will begin. Okay. The entire session will be question, answer, question, answer, question and answer. So first thing, this is how it will be. The revision also will be with practice, and then there will be some practice. First things first. We started the chapter by understanding what physical and chemical changes are, how they are different. You tell me what you remember, or you tell me what you can find out in the textbook, and I will update it on the slide. If you want to speak, raise your hand. If you want to type. If you want to write and send me a picture of your notebook, that is also fine. But what is the first thing that comes to your mind when we say physical change, chemical change? Khadija is saying physical changes are temporary. Okay. So based on that, on the chemical side, we can write chemical changes are permanent. Okay, I agree. What else? Something related. Yeah, very good. Before I could say, you have given the answer. Composition of the matter. So in case of physical change, composition of the matter does not change. Very good. And in case of chemical change, composition of changes. Ankit is saying physical changes are automatic. No, chemical changes can also happen on their own spontaneously. Chan, yes. So when we say temporary, that is what we mean, na? Reversible. If you want to use that word. Khadija and Prachi now are saying that physical changes are about changes in the temperature. So I would say changes in the state. And they are saying the chemical changes are about formation, breaking and formation of bonds. Very good. What else? The answer is now almost complete. Almost complete. How can we make it perfect? Very good. Now give examples. Correct. Give examples. Now, thank you for saying that. The example for physical change. that Anushka had delighted me with that example is tearing of paper, paper ka phadna. And in case of chemical change, we can say burning of paper. I'm still wondering, where did you get this example from? This is very nice. And I also remember in my previous class also, is it there in your previous textbook, previous class textbooks? Good. Tearing of paper and burning of paper. Whenever in whichever subject, especially if it is science, right? And if we have to differentiate between two things, we should make two different columns and write. Then the differences become very clear. And if we are able to write similar things at the same point, then it becomes perfect. Now this answer is complete. I'm happy. If you write this, I will be happy to give 5 out of 5 without deducting any single point. Can we move? Are we happy? Are we sure that we have understood? You will be able to answer this question if it is asked in the test without copying. Yes, you will. Let us look at the next question. What's a chemical reaction and what is a chemical equation? So in the first question, we figured out the answer of about physical and chemical changes. The second question, the second thing that we are revising is chemical reactions and chemical equations. अरे यही तो chapter का नाम है. Yes, very important. How do we differentiate? Okay, so Khadija is saying the change in chemical leads to chemical reaction. Okay. I'm sure all of you can answer, and you can answer much better than this. Chand is saying Chand is loving the bonds. Chemical reactions are about breaking and forming of bonds. Yes, that is correct. Chemical equations are representation of the chemical reaction. Correct. Okay. Okay. So I have understood what you are saying. In a way, we can say that chemical reactions are nothing but chemical changes. So whenever there is a chemical change, we can say that a chemical reaction has happened. I'm trying to use the words and phrases that we have studied. The chemical reaction is just another way of referring to the chemical change. And as you rightly pointed out, chemical equation is a way to represent that chemical reaction. Representation. Where else have we come across this word representation? In which subject? Political science. Yes. The people that we elect to form the legislature, they represent us. They are our representatives. We have representational democracy. We do not have direct democracy. Very good. You remember. So let me include this also before we move forward. Wow, finally. The activity that we were supposed to do, we were expected to do way back. And we said, we are not in the lab. We will not be able to do it now. We will come back to it when we have studied the chapter. So now we are going to complete this activity. On what page is this activity? What am I talking about? Which page? Page number 31. You are saying page number 31. Okay, let me see page number 31. Okay. Now the way we are going to do this activity is because we are not in a lab, we are not able to carry out this experiment. The way we are going to do this, complete this activity is by writing the chemical equation. If we can write the chemical equation, a lot of information will be there. So let us try to write this equation where it says, take a spoonful of limestone powder in an evaporating dish, heat it strongly on a high blue flame. Write the equation. Tell me how we can write it. And you can use the textbook. I want you to be familiar with the textbook. Information is there in the textbook. Find out where it is. Are you able to make the connections or not? I have the phone right in front of me. If you are sending something on WhatsApp, that also works. If you want to speak, it will be so much faster. But I don't know what the situation is at your home. Very good, Prachi. So Prachi has started by saying, because she has started by typing, so I'm going to write it. She's saying CaCO3. This is limestone, and we are going to heat it. What happens if we heat it? All of you have the textbooks. All of you can answer, even if you have not studied it before. Very good, Khadija. I have received your answer on WhatsApp. So Khadija is saying it will form calcium oxide, and she has written like this. She has written like this. If I write it clearly, CaCO3 heating CaO, CO2. So the moment we see this, with the moment we see this arrow, it means this gas is released. And look at the table. In the table, it asks, gas released, yes or no? Of course, yes. And which is the gas? It is CO2. See, we haven't done the experiment, but now we are able to write. We are able to write. What happens to the temperature? What kind of reaction is this? What will happen to the temperature? It's an endothermic reaction. Yes. So what happens to the temperature in an endothermic reaction? Decrease. Yes. We can give this answer just theoretically. We don't need to go to the lab. It will decrease. Then you tell whether it is a physical change or chemical change. Do we write chemical equations for physical changes? Chemical change. Very easy. Chemical. What happened to this? And first question. First thing is about color, change of color. Now this we can definitely not answer. We can make a guess. If you have started writing your if you are making your list of elements and compounds, you will see that calcium carbonate, calcium oxide, both are almost whitish. So there will be no color change. No change. Remember, limestone is calcium carbonate. It is same as marble, chalk, the Shahabad tile is same. CaO is calcium oxide. It is also called as quicklime, not slaked lime. quicklime. Always remember this. Are we ready to go to the next part? Do you have any doubt here? The second thing is the second activity given on the same activity to perform. It says add zinc dust into the copper sulfate solution. Yes, copper sulfate solution. Write the reaction. Write the reaction and everything will be clear. Very good. Very good. I've received one correct answer in the chat. These reactions are already written in the textbook. These reactions we have written in the notebooks. We have studied them multiple times. Anyone else? So we are starting with copper sulfate solution. Khadija got your answer. Very good, correct. We are trying to just see how I am writing and how is it a little bit different from what you have written. We are taking copper sulfate solution. Because it is solution, we should write aqueous, to which we are adding zinc. And zinc, the description says dust, so we should write S. It is good. If you don't write, it's okay, but we should write CuSO4 plus Zn. Very good, Aarti. Very good, chat. Correct answers. Huh? So now something will happen. Zinc will displace copper from copper sulfate. So ZnSO4 plus C. And ZnSO4 will be aqueous. Do you see any gas being released in this reaction? Is there any gas being released? Cu is copper. It's not a gas. Enough. So there is no gas. We know this answer now. Temperature change, will we know क्या हुआ क्या नहीं हुआ? बिना experiment किए हमको पता चलेगा क्या? Can we know? We can't. So for you to know, it is increases. हम जब उसको छुएंगे ना, even if we just touch that container, we will feel it a little bit warmer. Now look at the change which we have written in the form of an equation. Is it a chemical change or a physical change? Chemical. Now to color. Who remembers what's the color of copper sulfate? We all should always remember the color of copper sulfate. Even Alfia remembers, correct? It is blue, right? So this is blue here. Do we have copper sulfate there? No. So something will change. So it will start from blue and it will become colorless. I will just check the answer. Yes, correct. It will start from blue and it will become colorless. We have the answer once again. So blue you should be able to say even without doing the experiment, because we have studied about copper sulfate from last year. We have been talking about the solution, copper sulfate as a crystal, copper sulfate as a compound, copper sulfate as a electrolyte, solution in water, in other solvents. So it is blue. Think, raise your hand if you have doubt, thumbs if it is clear. And realize how now we are able to give the answers. Okay, so clearing the screen. Moving to the next question. So now we are adding potassium chromate solution to barium sulfate solution. Prachi, I will watch how you are writing this equation. We are adding potassium chromate solution to the barium sulfate solution. Let's write the equation first. It says we are adding potassium chromate. So we will not start the equation from potassium chromate. We will start from barium sulfate. So barium sulfate solution, it says. So we will write aqueous. We are adding potassium chromate solution, K2CrO4. This is another aqueous solution. And you would have guessed it that this will be a double displacement reaction. So barium will get the sulfate ion. Now barium will get the chromate ion, CrO4. Both this valency is 2. Barium valency is 2. So BaCrO4 and then K2SO4. But if you remember the reaction correctly, you will not write AQ here. You will write an arrow here. Because remember, we have studied this forms a yellow precipitate. And K2SO4 will be in the solution. This will be the reaction. Once again, it is very clear that no gas is released. Temperature, you don't know what will happen, but I can tell you that it will increase. Color change, we can say that this yellow precipitate, right? So a yellow precipitate is formed. Chemical or physical change? Of course, it is a chemical change. So usually these displacement and double displacement reactions, they are exothermic reactions. They will release energy, and that is why the temperature will increase. See, think, ask if you have a doubt, confirm if you have understood. Okay, I've got the confirmations, so I'm clearing the screen once again. And moving to the next question. Here we are adding sodium carbonate solution to the calcium chloride solution. Go ahead, do it. It will be exactly like the previous one. Another double displacement reaction. Write the reaction. Write the equation. So we are taking calcium chloride solution, CaCl2 aqueous. We add sodium carbonate, Na2CO3 aqueous. Just because it is saying solution, we should write AQ. Of course, there will be exchange of ions. So since I have written calcium here first, I will write it here first, CaCO3 plus NaCl, and very good. You have balanced it also. Very nice. If you see, this is not balanced. We have 2 chlorine, 2 sodium, but only 1 here. So to balance, we can write this. Now it is balanced. CaCO3, NaCl twice. Now remember, in the double displacement reaction, there is a precipitate. Guess and tell which will precipitate. What will precipitate? I've told you how to guess the precipitate. And if that is going to precipitate, Khadija, how should we write? Should we write S? Should we write an arrow? Both are correct. Whether we write an arrow or whether we write a S. both will work. So what I'm trying to tell you is calcium is heavier. Calcium is heavier than sodium. So most likely this will be the precipitate. Now if I ask you, do we remember the color of calcium carbonate? थोड़ी देर पहले मैंने आपको बताया था, when we were doing the first question. I told the color just in the passing. White. Yes, white. You remembered. So that is what will happen. We will be left with a white precipitate. So now we can complete the table as color change if present, we can say white precipitate. And yes, I should have written here aqueous. It will be a solution of salt. Gas, we don't see any gas in this reaction, so no. Temperature change, this is a double displacement reaction, so increase. Chemical or physical change. Okay. If we put enough time and effort, we will be able to answer the questions. See, think, confirm, ask if you have any doubt. Now the fifth activity, part of the experiment, we are taking phthalic anhydride in evaporating dish, and we are heating it. Are we heating it or not? We are heating it. Color change, gas released, temperature change, all this is answered. So we have no idea what phthalic anhydride is. So I will show you what phthalic anhydride is, and then we will try to understand what is happening in this reaction. Don't you worry. I will not leave you. Take some time. Just read this basic thing. When you are reading, notice the structure of the molecule. It is not something that you have come across before. Notice the formula of the molecule. Focus on the name of the molecule, name of the compound. Also see what kind of compound is this. I'm sure at least one of you will understand that we started studying about these type of compounds last year itself. And then guess, what is the meaning of anhydride, phthalic anhydride? So first thing that I wanted you to notice was it's an organic compound. Organic compound are mainly compounds of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. We started studying about methane, ethane, and all those compounds last year. We will study more and more about organic compounds this year. There is an entire chapter for that, carbon and its compounds. Look at the formula. This is not a simple formula. It is C6H4CO2O. Now, this is how it is written. And yes, Khadija, the way you have written, you have combined all the carbons, you have combined all the hydrogens, and you have combined all the oxygens, and you have written. Some people write it like that also. But what is written on the screen here is more common, more standard. Also notice this structure of the molecule. Gol gol. Look at the name. 2-benzofuran 1,3-dione. Not just one, there are all more names. Isobenzofuran 1,3-dione. And it is also called as anhydride. Anhydride is जिससे कि पानी उड़ गया है. Anhydrous or anhydride means it has lost its water of crystallization. So usually this compound will have some molecules of water sitting physically, not chemically bonded, physically bonded with the molecule. And when that water When we heat it, when we heat this such kind of compounds, and we have seen this last year also, we took copper sulfate crystals, we heated it, then we saw that they lost their blue color. And after some time, they reabsorbed the humidity, water vapor from the air, and they became blue. So with this information, can you now tell me what must be happening here? What must be happening when we are heating phthalic anhydride? Will this be a chemical change or a physical change? What will happen? I told you what happens when we heat copper sulfate crystals. It loses its water of crystallization. उड़ जाता है, फिर वापस आ जाता है. No, Shubham, it is not a chemical change. पानी अलग है. This compound is separate. पानी बस उस पे बैठा हुआ है. So when we heated it, the water evaporates. So there is no chemical change. It's just a physical change. This is not a chemical change. This is only a physical change. Right? Will a gas be released? Yes, I think a gas will be released. I think water vapor will be released. है ना? उड़ गया. शायद होगा ऐसा. लेकिन हमको फिर से पढ़ना चाहिए ठीक से क्या लिखा है इसमें. Take phthalic anhydride in the evaporating dish and do what? Heat. We are heating it. Yes. गरम किए हैं तो गरम टेम्परेचर बढ़ा होगा of the system, because this is a physical change. This is no longer a chemical change. हमने बाहर से दिया है. Color change, I really don't know. I'll try to find out if there is a change. I really don't know right now. And if time permits, if we have the opportunity to go back to the school, go back to the classroom, or if I'm able to find out a recording of the video, a recording of this experiment, I will share it with you. If you find out a recording of a video of this experiment, please share it with. At this point in time, this is a physical change. When we heat phthalic anhydride, it will just lose its water of crystallization. There will not be any change in the chemical bonds. Think. Raise your hand if you have doubt. Thumbs if you have understood. Okay. Clearing the screen. Moving to that. So there were 5 things to be done in this activity, and now we have gone through 5 activities. The 5th one is still not complete. I agree. 6th, the next, there is a word equation given. Write down the chemical equation and then balance it. Write down the chemical equation and balance it. Should not take more than 2 minutes. So we have sodium hydroxide as NaOH, sulfuric acid as H2SO4, sodium sulfate as Na2SO4, and H2O is H2O, water. Water is H2O. So we see 2 sodium here. So maybe I'll write it 2 here. Right? SO4 is already balanced. Now, how many hydrogen do we need? 4. On the left hand side, we have 2 and then 2, 4. So we write it 2 here. So SO4 is balanced. Hydrogen is balanced. Oxygen is also balanced. 2 and 2. Done. Very simple question now. There are 2 equations on the screen. Let us say first one is 1, second one is 2. First one is 1, Second one is 2. All you have to tell me, which one is a combination reaction, which one is a decomposition reaction. Okay. Simple question. Which equation, which reaction is a combination reaction? Which reaction is a decomposition reaction? Prachi, correct. Aarti, correct. Khadija, correct. Chand, correct. Aarti, correct again. Now, the reason Prachi, Chand, Aarti, Khadija, they are saying that the first one is combination reaction because here we see we have multiple reactants and only one product. Only one product. Now, if you are thinking, how is it one? Heat is written. Heat is not matter. Heat is energy. So we will not consider that as a, we will not count it as a product. It is a product, but we will not count it as a product. So only one product. The opposite thing is happening in the second reaction. In the second reaction, we have only one reactant. And we have multiple products. So in the first reactions, CaO and H2O, they are combining. In the second reaction, CaCO3 is decomposing. That is why the first one is combination reaction, the other one is decomposition reaction. Is it okay? Can we move? Clearing the screen. In this reaction, copper is displaced. Correct. देखो कॉपर यहाँ बैठा हुआ था सल्फेट के साथ, अब वो अलग हो. Second question, what displaced copper? Very good, Tushar. Now you have replied. What displaced copper? Very fast answer and correct answer. Zinc. Zinc has taken the place of copper. Zinc has now formed bond with the sulfate radical. Now the final question. If we have to compare zinc and copper with respect to reactivity, which is more reactive? Correct. Zinc is more reactive because it is able to displace copper from its place. So zinc is more reactive than copper. Very good, Fiza. You also replied. So in the displacement reaction, the more reactive element displaces the less reactive element. Now let us look at another double displacement reaction. I also want some fun, so I'm making the equation now. We have, say, barium sulfate. Then we have potassium chromate. So barium chromate and potassium sulfate. Now if I ask you, and please listen to the question carefully, there can be multiple answers here. Which ions are exchanged? I will not have this kind of fun with you. Let us say which positive ions, which cations are exchanged? Yes, then you are right. Barium and potassium are exchanged. Barium goes, sits here, potassium comes, sits here. Which negative radicals are exchanged? Then the answer will be sulfate and chromate. Remember, this type of reaction, double displacement reaction, there will be a precipitate. Usually, this is the precipitate of the heavier metal. So this will be the precipitate, and barium compounds are usually yellow in color. Once again, very easy question. There are two equations on the screen. I'll name them as 1 and 2. All you have to do is tell me which one is endothermic reaction, which one is exothermic reaction. First one is endothermic reaction, people are saying. Second one is exothermic reaction, people are saying. Okay. Yes, you are correct. The first one is endothermic reaction because you see heat is given to the reactant. So heat is absorbed. But in the second reaction, you see heat is written on the product side. When heat is written on the product side, it means heat is given out. Heat is produced. Heat is released. When that happens, it's called an exothermic reaction. So this is endothermic. This is exothermic. The other way of writing these reactions would be, instead of writing the heat here, we can draw this triangle delta on the arrow. Also, instead of writing HEAT, we can write plus delta plus heat. Energy is released. I'm going to write two reactions on the screen, and you will tell me which one is a fast reaction and which one is a slow reaction. What should I write? What should I write? Okay, found it. What will I write? I will write this. One reaction is CaCO3 plus right? Second reaction is and if I balance, I think it is balanced now. Yes, it is balanced. If I number them as 1 and 2, tell me which one is faster than the other one. Okay. Correct answers in the chat. Waiting for more correct answers. While waiting for the correct answer, I've got a wrong answer in the chat. No worries. Good, you tried. See, the reactants and the products in both the reactions are exactly the same. I mean, chemically they are the same. The only difference is concentration. In the first reaction, hydrochloric acid is concentrated. In the second reaction, hydrochloric acid is diluted. फीका है, पहले वाले में गाढ़ा है. And because of this difference, the first reaction will be faster. First reaction will be faster, and the second reaction will be slower. And the only reason is this: concentrated versus dilute. Oxidation and reduction we studied yesterday. We started it day before yesterday. We completed it yesterday. And I'm going to do a re-revision for you. Oxidation is when something combines with oxygen. Reduction is when something combines with hydrogen. Because they are complementary and opposite processes, we can also say that when some oxygen is removed, the reaction will be what reaction? Now I'm asking you. If oxygen is removed, what kind of reaction will it be? It will be reduction. Where am I getting this answer? Uska ulta. Addition of oxygen, combining with oxygen is oxidation. Removal of oxygen will be reduction. Similarly, removal of hydrogen will be what? Oxidation, correct. Don't forget these things. They are not confusing. These are not confusing. They are just related to each other. They are complementary. So whatever happens with oxygen is ulta of what happens with hydrogen. Also, something that we tried to understand yesterday, that whenever there is a combination with oxygen, or whenever there is a combination with hydrogen, or when there is a distancing from oxygen or distancing from hydrogen, we are actually dealing with the electrons. Sometimes electrons are added and sometimes electrons are lost. Now tell me what you remember. Addition of electrons is what? Very good. It is reduction. Removal of reaction is what? Electrons is what? Oxidation. They are related to each other. So whenever we are combining with oxygen, the oxygen takes the electrons, right? That is why combining with oxygen is oxidation. Removal of electrons is also oxidation. And the same thing happens when we are removing oxygen. Not removing oxygen, removing hydrogen. That is why it is oxidation. ये तीन हमने अच्छे से पढ़ा. Now focus on this. Addition of electrons and removal of electrons. Focus on this. Understand this clearly. Addition of electrons is reduction. Removal of electrons is oxidation. You must, when you are focusing, you must be thinking of what an electron is. So in the sense, what is its charge? What will happen if something loses an electron? What will happen if something gains an electron? Think about that. And based on that, based on removal of electrons or the process of addition of electrons, we can also look at oxidation and reduction in terms of charge, change in the charge. The charge can change in these ways. Positive charge may increase, positive charge may decrease, negative charge may increase, negative charge may decrease. I will make it easy for you to understand. Suppose the charge increases from 2 to 3. Suppose the charge decreases from 3 to 2. Increase of negative charge. Suppose the charge increases from -3 to -2. This is increase. And decrease of negative charge. Is it correct? -3, -2 to -3. Mathematically, when we say -3 to -2, it is a increase of charge, right? But it says increase of negative charge. So what we are referring to here is not this. The correct example here would be -2 to -3, and decrease of negative charge would be -3 to -2. The negativity is increasing here. The negativity is decreasing here. Now, if we consider these changes, how can we relate it to electrons, gaining and losing of electrons? That is what we are trying to understand. क्या होने से these things will happen with respect to the electrons? What must happen with respect to the electrons for the charge to change from +2 to +3? Speak or type. I know you can answer. What must happen with respect to the electrons for the charge to change from +2 to +3? Khadija is saying gaining electrons. Remember, electrons are negatively charged. The charge on the electron is -1. If the charge is changing from +2 to +3, are we gaining an electron? Losing an electron, right? We are losing an electron. And what is losing an electron with respect to oxidation and reduction? Losing electron with respect to oxidation and reduction. Losing electron is not reduction. Think. Losing electrons is oxidation. Yes. Losing electrons is oxidation. Whenever something combines with oxygen, it loses the electrons. That is why it is oxidation. So oxidation. So whenever positive charge increases, that's oxidation. Do I need to tell more about this? What will this be? It's the complete opposite. Reduction. Why reduction? Because clearly from +3 to +2, it will happen with gain of electrons. Similarly, when we have increase of negative charge, this is again gain of electrons. Gain of electrons is reduction. Finally, decrease of negative charge. This happens by losing of electrons. This can happen when electrons are lost, we call it oxidation. So the same oxidation reduction can also be defined with respect to change in the charge. Charge of what? Charge on the atom, charge on the radical. If the positive charge increases, it's oxidation. If the positive charge decreases, it's reduction. If the negative charge increases, it's reduction. If the negative charge decreases, it's oxidation. Understand the maths, see how it is linked to the signs of oxidation and reduction. See, think. If I change the question a little bit, and if I ask you that we have Fe, iron, the element iron, and then we have the compound iron oxide. What will be your answer? Is it oxidation or reduction in this direction? Is there any charge? Do you see any charge? Where is the charge? What is happening? Charge is there. Let's see if you are able to identify. Why, Fiza? Why are you saying reduction? Aman is saying oxidation. Chand is saying oxidation. Alfia is saying oxidation. Can someone please tell me why you are saying oxidation? What is the charge that is? Do you see any charge? Do you see any? Can you explain what is happening? Where are the electrons? What is changing? There are two elements, Tushar is saying, iron and oxygen. So the simple answer that you can give me is, sir, we are adding oxygen to iron. Alfia said that. Very good, Alfia. Very smart answer. If you look at the question that you have asked us, here we are adding oxygen to iron, and adding of oxygen is clearly oxidation. What is there to find out? It is oxidation. We don't even need to know what the charges are, where the electrons are, doesn't matter. We have added oxygen. देखो यहाँ oxygen नहीं था left में, right में oxygen है, right? So as this is oxidation, the previous one, this is also oxidation. Now if I ask you what is this process? है ना, अब आसान हो गया ना, आ गया सबको समझ में. उल्टा, reduction. Now if I ask you, if there is a reaction like this, what will that be? That will also be reduction, right? So it is very easy in this case because we are able to see the oxygen, right? This case is easy to see. The second case is easy to see. The first case, it is not easy to see because we don't have the oxygen there. We have to see what the charges are. We need to know more. Now, the bottom case, it may also be that the element that is combining may not be oxygen. It can be something else. So what we need to know is कि हमारा valency क्या है, हमारा charge क्या है. Remember, when iron is in the atomic form, it is neutral. So the charge is 0. When iron combines with oxygen in FeO, if it is the case, FeO, that means oxygen का valency 2, iron का valency भी 2. That means iron has formed a cation here, +2. So actually, there is a change in the charge, 0 to +2. 0 to +2. Which is addition. Increase of the positive charge, 0 to +2. So if we know our valency, if we can figure out our charge, then we can also figure out whether we are seeing oxidation, reduction, what is being oxidized, what is being reduced, everything becomes clear. So what we studied last year, what we studied this year in the previous chapter, periodic classification of elements, all that combines when we are studying about equations and reactions. And this is what we were talking about. We have ferrous sulfate, FeSO4, where SO4's valency is 2, Fe's valency is 2. इसीलिए कुछ भी नहीं लिखा हुआ है. Again, from class 9, if you remember that, if you have understood that, this will be extremely easy. FeSO4 2 minus 2. So this becomes FeSO4, this one. Fe2SO4 whole 3. Fe2SO4 whole 3. ये कहाँ से बना? ये बना. There is another ion of Fe which is called the ferric ion plus 3. SO4 minus 2. They combine to form Fe2SO4 whole 3. So in this reaction, the net change is, net means कुल मिला के change is Fe plus 2 is changing into Fe plus 3. Ferrous is becoming ferric. Positive charge is increasing. This is possible by losing electrons. So this is oxidation. Oxidation. The same thing we see when we have iron, it forms iron oxide. Oxygen is added, clearly oxidation. Also, you can say the charge has changed from 0 to plus 2. When the same iron oxide is formed as ferric oxide, FeO is ferrous oxide, Fe2O3 is ferric oxide. Now the charge here is plus 3. And you can see more oxygen is added. Here the ratio is 1:1. Here the ratio is 2:3. 2:3 means 1:1.5. बढ़ गया oxygen. More oxidation. So this is what we need to be able to understand and identify, that where oxidation is happening, where reduction is happening, even if we don't see oxygen, even if we don't see an explicit combination with oxygen. देखो, FeSO4 changing into Fe2SO4 whole 3. There is no combination of oxygen, not explicitly, but there is, and it is oxidation. So we start by saying types of reaction with respect to oxygen and hydrogen are, we list down oxidation and reduction. Now examples. So we can give an example of addition of oxygen. If you look at page number 41, one example that is given is 2Mg plus O2 makes magnesium oxide. If we talk about removal of hydrogen, we have to figure out where that removal of hydrogen example is. You will find out and tell me. While you try to figure out what that example will be. Addition of hydrogen. We can give the simple example of vanaspati oil or vegetable oil combining with hydrogen to form vanaspati ghee. This is the example that is given in the textbook. What Khadija wrote was this. Apologies for this transition. Yeah. She wrote magnesium reacts with hydrogen to form magnesium hydride. And she balanced it. She somehow balanced it. How did she balance it? It is already balanced. MgH2, MgH2. This is also addition, reduction. So give one more example of removal of hydrogen. Give another example here of removal of oxygen, and your answer will be complete. If we add couple of lines that in the previous example, in these two examples, or for each of this reaction, if we can say that oxygen is added, then we can say hydrogen is removed. Similarly, hydrogen is added, then another example, oxygen is removed, then our answer will be complete. That is how it is. Will you be able to complete the answer on your own? Good. So you will complete this answer on your own using this structure. I'm not going to give you the solution tonight. You will complete it. You will try to write it on your own. because I'm going to teach you in the morning also. So we will cover this question once again. Hmm? I will show you how I would have written the answer. I will show you in the morning, not tonight. Another answer that you are going to try before coming to class tomorrow is this one. This is what I asked Khadija to try because she had finished the first question. What is the reaction called when oxidation and reduction take place simultaneously? The answer is very easy. I'm not even asking you to tell me the answer now. Where there we have to only give the name of the reaction and then explain with one example. So you will state a reaction, you will write the equation, you will tell what oxidation is happening and what reduction is happening and why that reaction is whatever it is. Quick confirmation, will you be able to write this on your own? I must get your answers. Khadija has already completed writing it. Khadija, I will check it after the class. You send it to me tonight. Tomorrow morning, we will look at this part once again, which is corrosion in general and rusting of iron specifically. And then that will be the end of the chapter. We will do this in the morning tomorrow. And so in the morning, we will look at trigonometry. If you have any doubt or if I have to tell you something of the homework questions for today, and we will complete this with science. Lekha madam is not going to teach you in the morning. She is not well. So we will use the morning 1.5 hours, 2 hours to complete these two. With this, we will be completing chapter number 3 of science 1 and chapter number 6 of maths 2. That is it. If you have any questions, you can raise your hand and ask. If you don't have any question, you can tell me in the chat if the session made sense today or not. I know that it is 4:50 only. We still have 10 minutes, but we have time much more. We will have much longer time in the morning. So we will do it at a much slower pace in the morning where I will have time to explain to you. You will also have time to understand this properly. We are in no hurry because we have time in the morning. Right? So if you have any question, you can stay back and ask. If you don't have any question, you will tell me in the chat if you understood anything, not understood anything. So on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 understood nothing, 10 understood everything. You will write it in the chat and then you will leave. Tata. Bye bye. Thank you, Chand. Read your answer. Made a lot of sense because we had revision, which cleared my remaining doubts. Yes. Chand is studying a lot these days. He is asking me questions at 10 and 11 at night. Chanda also does that. Good. Fiza has given a 7. Fiza, you are not giving these numbers to make me happy. You are giving this number to tell me if you have understood. If it is 7, then you should have been able to write the answer. So I'm expecting you to send me the 2 answers before you go to sleep tonight. Positively, it has to come. Thank you, Prachi. Thank you, Chand. Okay, Khadija. Bye-bye. Bye, Fiza. Ankit, closing the share.